Have you ever wondered what really separates a good tour guide from a truly great one? It's this amazing mix of art, science, and just a deep human connection. Today, we're diving into the path of becoming a professional tour guide, not just someone who shows you the sights, but someone who helps you feel the soul of a place.
Okay, think back to the best trip you've ever taken. What was it that made it so special? Was it just the cool buildings or the beautiful scenery? Or was it something more? 9 times out of 10, that magic ingredient is one person. An amazing guide who made the whole destination come alive.
All right, here's our game plan for today. We're going to start by totally redefining what a guide is, then we'll pack their toolkit with all the essentials. After that, we'll take a peek behind the curtain at their prep work, explore the real art of their delivery, and finally, we'll look at what it takes to reach true professional mastery. Let's get into it.
So, first things first, we need to expand our definition. A great guide is so much more than just a person with a flag pointing at things. They are, in a very real way, a cultural ambassador for their home. See, a tour guide isn't just a walking encyclopedia. They're more like architects of experience. Their real job is to build a bridge, to forge a genuine connection between you, the traveler, and the place you're visiting, its history, its traditions, and all the little things that make it unique.
And the responsibilities? Wow, they are all over the map. A guide has to be a historian, a logistics manager, a safety expert, and a memory maker, all at the same time. It's this incredible balancing act, going way beyond just spitting out facts to make sure everyone is safe, comfortable, and having a truly memorable time.
Ultimately, this is what it's all about. A great guide closes that gap between just being a tourist and feeling like you actually belong there, even for a little while. They're that essential link, that bridge that turns a simple visit into a rich, deep cultural experience.
So, how does a guide actually become that bridge? Well, it takes a pretty specialized set of tools. Let's open up the Ultimate Guides Toolkit and see what separates the amateurs from the pros.
The toolkit is basically split into 2 critical parts. On one side, you've got the hard skills. This is all the knowledge stuff. It's what you can study in a book, languages, history, dates, logistics. But then you have the other side, the soft skills, and that's all heart. This is how you connect with people, your communication, your empathy, your ability to think on your feet. True mastery is when you can blend both of those sides seamlessly.
And what's really fascinating here is that while you can learn history from a textbook, you can't learn genuine kindness from one. The sources are crystal clear on this. A professional attitude, we're talking real patience, empathy, and a deep dedication to the tourist's experience. That is a guide's single most valuable asset. Period.
Now that amazing, seamless experience you have on a tour, it definitely doesn't just happen by magic. So let's pull back the curtain a little and look at the huge amount of prep work that goes on long before the first tourist even shows up.
Every great tour is built on this foundation, this pre-tour ritual. It all starts with deep research, and I don't just mean the famous landmarks, but the hidden stories, the local legends. Then comes meticulous itinerary planning, mapping out every single step, including backup plans. Step 3 is all about equipment, from first aid kits to visual aids. Step 4 is constant coordination with hotels, drivers, restaurants, you name it. And finally, mastering safety protocols. That is absolutely non-negotiable. It's a ton of work, but it's what makes a tour truly professional. Okay, with all that preparation done, it's showtime. This is the moment a guide steps onto their stage and transforms all that information into a captivating, unforgettable performance. This is the true art of guiding.
A truly great tour actually follows a narrative arc. It kicks off with a warm, engaging opening, maybe a surprising local story, or a funny anecdote. The delivery itself has to be dynamic. Nobody wants to listen to a monotone lecture. The best guides make it interactive, right? They ask questions, they get the group involved in the story. They'll use visual aids, like old photos or maps, to literally transport you back in time. And then, it all wraps up with a memorable closing that pulls the key themes together and ends with a genuine, heartfelt thank you.
So we've covered the role, the toolkit, the preparation, and the performance. But what's that final step? How does a guide go from being just good at their job to achieving true professional mastery? Well, that mastery is really built on these 5 pillars. First, a commitment to constantly learn because, hey, destinations are always changing. Second, a strict code of ethics, always showing respect for the local culture. Third, being incredibly responsive and proactive when problems pop up. Fourth, having the ability to build real, lasting relationships with clients. And finally, and this is a big one, validating all of it with professional certification.
And that certification,
It is not just a piece of paper to hang on the wall. It has a real, tangible, measurable impact. Let's look at some of the numbers because they are pretty eye-opening.
Check this out. In one case study of a village that brought in professional guide training, they saw a 50% increase in tourist visits in just the first 6 months. That's the power of providing real quality.
And from the market's perspective, having that certification can boost a guide's credibility with tourists and travel agencies by a massive 85%. It's basically a stamp of approval that says, you can trust me.
And that trust, it translates directly into earnings. Certified guides can often command higher fees and get access to more premium tours, potentially boosting their income by 30 to 40%.
So, in the end, it really all comes down to this idea. Mastery isn't some finish line you cross. It's a mindset. It's built on character, on a strong ethical compass, and on an unending commitment to just being better today than you were yesterday. So let's boil it all down. Here's the entire path in 5 clear steps. First, understand your mission. You're a cultural ambassador. Second, master the fundamentals, both the hard skills and the soft skills. Third, uphold the absolute highest standards of professionalism in everything you do. 4, get certified to prove your expertise. And finally, just start your journey. Begin with small, local tours and never ever stop learning.
So, we'll leave you with this question to think about. After seeing everything that goes into this profession, the next time you travel, what will you value most in a guide? It kind of changes your perspective, doesn't it? Thanks for joining us for this explainer.